What's happening, guys? How are we? Ooh, look at that transition. Everybody hype! Everybody hype, hype, hype. Welcome in, guys. It is yet another episode of Adventures Tabletop. Hoard of the Dragon Queen, session 7. For those of you who know the module, they have just made their way from saving the old mill there at the end of the night. It is probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. The battle is starting to die down, or I suppose the siege is starting to die down. It's good to see everyone here with you. I should really remind me. One of the mods, can you put it up in the mod chat to remind me to add Adventures Tabletop to the Me 6? Yes. Like the auto live guys? That would be bueno. So, to give a quick recap, we did miss last week because we had one player who had no power and another player who had no internet. That makes it really difficult to... that makes it really, really difficult for us to make this happen. Thank you. So, much like the players who are starting to die down, nobody's died yet. Last week you missed. So last week the party was tasked to go and try and save the mill. The mill is pretty much the lifeblood of the town. It is the way that they make a good portion of their food and also a good portion of their business. So they the adventurers took off to go and try and save the mill, and in the process ran into a bunch of a few other cultists and some more kobolds. They also ran into, although they found it, they ran into what was going to be an ambush. Even though they caught the ambush, they still had some issues with what occurred during these fight. Rax still ran in. Yeah. So after they found out about the ensuing ambush, they got around that, but still ended up getting mixed up in quite a nasty fight with the kobolds, the acolytes, and the cultists. After some very exciting death saving throws, we had two members roll nat 20s on their death saves, and I believe both of them were on at a time where they were like two successes, 2 failures. Unreal. Yeah, like the next roll was gonna make or break their character no matter what, and then they hit nat 20s. I also remember a certain character hitting a nat 1 on a death saving throw to put her in a situation where she had to roll that nat 20.
I feel so called out right now.
It was wild. Last week's session was... I don't know of a single session of D&D that was quite as wild as last session was. I don't think I've ever DM'd a session that was quite that. Like it was literally fucking bananas. So at this point, the battle has died down. Our adventurers, as you can see, are standing outside of the mill, and they are kind of trying to decide what to do. So guys, what's the plan? You guys are currently standing outside of the mill. You have Escobar the Red and a guard with him. As you guys kind of wait, you notice that there's a few more guards that show up. I will add them on.
I was gonna say, I think that Escobar told us that we actually could stay here and rest, if I'm correct, right?
Yep. Let me just quickly grab. Let me just grab a couple more guards here. Oops, that's not a. Okay. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. So, a couple more guards show up to. What in the goddamn? Oh, there we go. So I realized that I'm putting things on there and. Do.
Yeah, I would definitely be in favor of at least a short, if not a long rest.
Okay.
I was gonna say, are we able to do long rest? Because like I'm up for that.
Okay. I mean, yeah, absolutely. You can. So you guys, you kind of talk to Escobar. He says, well, he kind of lets you know. He lets you know where the governor has gone. He's like, the governor has taken, has gone with the rest of the people who have fled the keep and fled the city, and they've made their way. I mean, a fair ways out to the like down to the south, kind of south, and then slightly to the west. But I mean, he says, yeah, if you guys want to rest here, there's like this. There are now 4 guards here, and Escobar, and he's like, we'll make sure that we take care of guarding the, to ensure that nothing happens to the mill, so that we can start building our city back.
So you're gonna leave guys posted outside, and then we can sleep inside.
Yeah, that can definitely happen.
Internet's just gonna start walking inside the building then.
Okay. You should be good. Let me make sure that that's all there. Yeah, you guys should be good to goody.
As we're making our way inside, I'm gonna walk up to Annerneck and just say, "Thank you for taking care of the children. I realized that I kind of lost my head in the middle of that battle, and I'm glad you were there to take care of them."
Yeah, I definitely couldn't leave them alone, but let's try not to bring, you know, innocent little ones with us next time, maybe.
Yeah, that was probably a mistake on my part.
I understand your intent.
Also, I've been wondering, you seem to have so much control when you're in animal form, and I don't know, I change into a wolf, and it's so hard to just not completely become a wolf and let the wolf take over. I don't know if you'd be willing to maybe work with me and show me how to do that a little bit better. I would really appreciate it.
You haven't been doing it long, have you?
No, I just first, met a mentor about 2 years ago, and he taught me some things, but I had to move on, so I've been traveling up alone for a while.
She's gonna look at him with a half-sided grin and say, "Yeah, sure, I'll show you the ropes. It just takes a little practice mostly.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Rack's gonna probably sit on the floor and kind of like lean up against the wall and just kind of put his head down a little bit and just look like he's nodding out more than anything. Try to get some rest.
Okay.
What type of environments on the inside? I wasn't here. This is my first time in the building.
Oh, right. Okay. So inside of this mill, I mean, it's very much a mill. So the part that the four of you find yourself in right now, that little, like, you see, it's kind of like an L shape, right? So there's the big, long, pretty thick with two C's rectangle up at the top, and then there's like a little add-on down at the bottom there where you find Rack, Nero, Anernek, and Uther at the moment. So the part that you guys find yourself in is more of an office or clerical area than anything. It's kind of like it's a bunch of bookkeeping. There's some sacks of flour and grain that's been ground up here and there, and it's just kind of all separated and tagged as this belongs to this person and this belongs to this person, and this is what. There's a bit of a ledger that's in there as well, saying this is what this person owes for services, and this is what this person is owed for spending time, cleaning or maintaining the mill and all that kind of jazz.
I do notice on the map that there's stairs in the third section.
Yep.
Does it go like to a loft area, a large open area, a storage area? Basically, what I'm asking is I would find the most open area to seem not like inside a building, if that makes sense.
Okay, then you'd want to kind of be in the. So the thick area with two C's, that thick geometry. This the main area of the mill is built where it's open with kind of a lofty mezzanine to like there's a bunch of structure there, obviously, right? Like a bunch of trusses and all that kind of stuff to hold up the roof. But for the most part, it's just kind of like almost like a catwalk, like a thin walkway that kind of surrounds the perimeter, and then the middle section of it is about as open as possible. And then again, from there, you'll see like this big kind of column that comes up from the actual mill itself, where the water wheel turns a series of gears that spins the mill itself, where then when the grain is added into it, it'll grind. So if you're looking for an open area, because the area that you're in right now is really just kind of one level. So I mean, it's maybe at most 10 feet tall. Like the ceiling is probably 10 feet up from the floor there. Again, just wooden flagstones kind of put together, and then as you move into the main area of the mill, it becomes two levels with that big open area in the center.
And where Draxon is, the larger area that you're talking about, there's a big hole through the wall, correct?
Correct.
So Anernek would probably find a seat up by those sacks closest to the opening to go outside.
Sure. So there's a guard. There's a guard set outside beside each doorway. So, like, you'll see. Let me grab a square. So, like, each one of these. My good God, come on. So each one of those, like the little dark brown half moon sort of numbers, each one of those is a door.
I have probably already fallen asleep on these like barrels or sacks or whatever is in this corner. Like probably shortly after talking to Internet, I probably just passed out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's like the odd chair in that here. There's it's pretty rough. Like this is still very much an industrial space where people come and they do what they need to do and they take what they need. But I mean, there is still, especially in the area that you guys find yourself in now, there's still a sense of order, right? So I mean, there's still kind of people who would work there. Ascribing everything that people are doing, right? How much grain is owed to each person, how much of it is ground, how much is yet to be ground, how like is there an amount owing, or have they worked there to pay off or to build up some kind of coffer almost that they can then draw from when they need services of their own.
So everybody's basically settled in, and we're letting the guards keep guard for us while we sleep.
I'd say Rack's probably already asleep now too.
Snoring, no doubt.
As loud as can be,
Okay. Okay.
I was gonna say, old man has a recliner, right, for his back. Has a recliner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're very concerned about old man Nero's well-being.
He probably doesn't need it, but he's playing it up anyway. It's like, my sciatica. That's thank you. That's
My sciatica. I like it. Okay. So as you guys find yourself settling in for the evening, the guards, there's the guards and Escobar the Red is also inside with you guys. He kind of at this point has like taken his helmet off, and he kind of rested on the floor, puts his axe down, and you can just see him like he kind of like flops himself down a little bit, and you can see him deep in thought. He's kind of mumbles to himself about how could these things have gone this way, what like what why the city, like why Greenest, why kobolds, who are the cultists, what do they want, all that kind of stuff.
I'm guessing
yeah.
Draxon and Internet cannot hear any of this, being in the other.
No, he's not really talking to anyone. He's more talking to himself. He's really just kind of mumbling it. Like, I mean, you guys would have probably seen him like as you guys are coming in and getting yourself settled or whatever. Escobar the Red would also have come in with you, and again, like I said, he would just kind of be finding himself a spot, starting to take off his stuff, take off his take off his helmet, take off, put his equipment down, relax a little bit, and just start to mumble to himself. So about 45 minutes to or an hour, a little bit, 45 minutes to an hour or so after you guys have settled in, you hear one of the guards come in from the door. He walks in here and he goes General Escobar, a group approaches from the east.
Those of us that are already asleep, would it have woken us?
Yeah. Well, just roll a d20. Just roll a d20.
15.
Nat 1.
6.
4.
18.
Okay, so Uther and Draxon, you two both would hear this. Like both of you kind of snap awake. Adderneck, you kind of get jostled, like you kind of you're deep in within your dreaming. You kind of hear the sound of someone saying something, but it kind of gets lost within your dreams. So you don't quite wake up from it. Nero and Rack, you two are both out. So yeah, Uther and Draxon, you hear it, and Escobar stands up and he kind of goes, "What? Like, there can't be more." It's like, this is, we've seen them start to, we've been watching them start to peel off. Like, this is, what is going on? So Escobar is going to jump up, grab his helmet, put it back on, and grab his axe.
Yes, following his cues, I'm gonna like unsling my bow. Can I roll a hit dice potentially?
You have one to roll?
I do.
Go for it.
This is considered long rest.
Short.
I meant short. Not...
That's fine. No, you're good. You're good.
I got 7 health back.
Good.
You want anybody else to? Is anybody else able to roll a dice?
You may all roll hit dice if you want, if you have them.
I got 8.
I got 4.
Yes. Okay. So I mean, Rack, you're still sleeping, but we'll definitely give you the hit die as well. Like,
Well, yeah. Sorry, I just thought.
No, you're fine. You're bang on. You're bang on right. Escobar the Red's going to start moving outside along with the guard, who's going to go back outside.
I will follow Escobar, I guess, to see what's going on.
Okay. You're going outside. Here, he'll stand out of your way.
I mean, it can't be that bad, right? There can't be that many guys left.
So from the darkness, a creature strides into kind of the dim light that's being shed by the mill. Like, obviously you guys would have torches and that sort of stuff. The guards would have torches on the outside and that providing light. Although what you see is roughly shaped like a human, it is at least 7 feet tall. The figure's skin is covered within blue scales, and its fingers bear wicked claws. So his face has a muzzle and the reptilian eyes of a dragon. The creature stops about the creature stops about 80. Well, hold on. Let me see what this. The creature stops just within the map, just because we're not gonna play that fucking shit here. The creature stops as far away as it needs to. What was that? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80.
About 100.
Okay, yeah. He'll stop about, well, we'll just say he's going to stop about 80 feet away, right? He stops about 80 feet away, and he just scans he scans the mill. behind him, you see a line of kobolds fan out. Right? So I'm going to, God, this is terrible. Because I'm not using an official map, I have to pull everything on individually instead of just having them dump it on there. So behind him comes this line of kobolds. Oh God, stop. Perfect. These ones. And man, I don't know. Gotcha. Boop, there we go. So a line of kobolds fans out behind him with their spears. They prod 4 human prisoners into the light. You can make out a woman, a teenage boy in a blood-soaked tunic, and 2 children. Then the half dragon creature hails. I'll put him here. Hails the mill. He says, "Defenders of Greenest, it has been a successful night, and I'm feeling quite generous. Do you see these 4 pitiful, useless prisoners? We have no need for them, so I will trade them back to you. Send out your best warrior to fight me, and you can have these 4 in exchange."
Crickets.
3 of us are still asleep, so
I guess I'll go up to Escobar and you're the one in charge here, I guess. What are your thoughts? Like, do you want one of us to potentially do it, or one of your men? I don't know who's gonna be your best man around here.
I mean, he says, you know, we can send a guard, but I mean, I think honestly, I'm not sure any of us would be in great position to do this. Actually, Uther and Draxon, both of you can go ahead and make me in Arcana or Nature checks, your choice.
That would be an 8.
I got a 13.
Okay. Okay, so both of you kind of both of you are kind of looking at this, and this looks like you guys aren't quite sure. This almost looks like some sort of strange like offspring. Like it almost resembles the dragon that was flying overhead, but this is much smaller and has somewhat of a human form to it. You guys can't quite it doesn't really. This is something that you have that you're not super you're not super familiar with what you're looking at. Like you're actually quite puzzled by what you're seeing. So yeah, so he goes
Can I ask a question?
yes.
With that humanoid thing hollering, would any of the people that are asleep hear it, or are we still out?
Roll a d20.
10.
8.
yeah, and that one.
Andernek doesn't hear shit. Andernek only hears herself snoring. Nero starts to kind of stir maybe a little bit, but still just kind of kicks his feet back a little bit more in his lazy boy and nods back off a little bit. Rack. Yeah, okay. You know what? Rack, you'd be able, you would at that point wake up.
All right then. As Rack's gonna like pick up his axes and stuff and stumble to his feet, and I don't think that there's any windows, so he would probably just come to the doorway and open the doorway to just kind of see what's going on. Still probably like rubbing his eyes and stuff, but he's probably not completely sure what's going on.
Okay. So as you come out, as you make yourself out, also this guard from down here is going to make his way over. He's going to join the group as he makes his way over. He recognizes the prisoners. He like as he sees. So as this guy sees the prisoners, he starts to he grabs his spear and he starts to lunge forward as one of the guards and Escobar grab onto him and actually have to restrain him to hold him back. He says, that's my sister. That's my sister and her children. I need to. I'll kill them. And he starts lunging forward towards the dragon that is there. As Escobar holds it back, he says, "No, you can't." He says, "None of us are in a great position." So he goes. Escobar like turns kind of back to you, Uther, and he says, I realize what an awful burden this is to ask you to bear, but you've demonstrated your prowess all through this frightful night, and to be perfectly honest with you, I feel that any single one of you has a better chance to defeat that horror than any of this militia.
Okay.
Is there?
Well, let us. Can you talk to him for a minute? I'll rouse the others and we can figure it out.
Is there a way to like, maybe like, kind of size him up a little, gauge him in a way to see, not maybe to see how strong he is, but maybe maybe see just kind of like, I don't know, like when a person's getting ruffled, you kind of you kind of size them up and down to see if you think that they're really strong. Is there?
Make me either an Arcana check or a Nature check, your choice.
Neither of those are good. I get a 17.
That's fine. Okay, so you recognize, like you see this guy, and you recognize him as a blue half dragon, or like a blue dragonborn, or sorry, not even a dragonborn. Like this guy is legitimately a half dragon. Okay, so you've never actually seen one in person. This is like the next step. This is like, think of it like a dragonborn, but just on steroids. Like this guy, I mean, this guy is tough for sure. He stands there kind of staring at you, while staring at the group of you. He's he's wearing very fine armor, like blood splattered and that across it, yet still the parts that you see that aren't sufficiently soaked in blood and grime are quite shiny. He carries a oh, come now, you. Let me find out. There we go. Yeah, he carries He carries a great sword in his hand. No shield. The sword is the sword has a distinct shine to it, as though it's been well taken care of. You can also see a bundle of a couple spears on his back. Yeah. Yeah, he looks like a tough competitor.
And I guess while I'm sizing him up, I guess Uther is gonna walk past me to go wake up Nero and Internet.
Yeah, would I have time to go in and wake them up, or is he like expecting someone
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay,
No,
so-
he's just standing there. He actually what he's done is he's like slammed he's kind of like slammed a banner into the ground. The banner has it's like a purple banner with gold trim, similar to the colors that you saw that the cultists were wearing. It has a big dragon on the in gold. It has like a big golden dragon kind of on the as the main symbol of the banner.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
I'm going.
Go ahead.
I'm going to ask Escobar if he has any healing potions.
Yeah, okay. He turns to you and he says, "Well, he says I have one left after the mill encounter."
Get that potion ready.
Okay.
And I'm going to move out 30 feet.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna shake Nero probably while that's happening and try to wake him up.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna physically shake him, I mean, yes, he's going to wake up.
Okay.
So
Fill him
Rack's
in on-
gonna go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'll fill him in on what's going on outside. Briefly.
I'll limp my way out.
Okay.
Rack's gonna head right there in the middle, near Draxon, and just kind of look to him and go, "You have plan."
I have part of a plan, but I'm working on it as I go. But you should definitely stay back a little bit. You look still a little worse for the wear.
Rack is just gonna draw his axe and his Morning Star, and not say anything and not do anything. Besides, I obviously draw the Morning Star and the axe and get it ready.
Okay.
Gonna run over to Annerneck and wake her up as well and kind of fill her in as we're probably making our way outside to see what's all going on.
How are you waking me?
Probably shaking you.
Like grab my shoulder, shake me, something like that.
Yeah, like probably grab your shoulder.
If you do that, then I definitely, as a reaction, would draw my dagger and hold my dagger out at you as I.
There's a dragon outside. Just, he's looking to fight someone. Sorry.
Don't wake a girl like that, man. Come on. And she's gonna stand up and follow him.
Going to sheepishly walk outside and just realize how many things I don't really know.
Okay. So as Draxon, as you approach, the half dragon, he looks at you and he says, "Are you the one who wishes to challenge me?" He says, "We will make you a deal. I will release the 3 children right now. You and I shall battle one-on-one. No one shall jump in. If anyone else gets involved in this, we kill the woman."
What if one of your kobolds jumps in?
He says, "Then I will personally kill the kobold." As he draws his greatsword.
I will wait till you release the children.
Okay. So he then releases the children. The children, I'm just going to move them right over to the other side. There's going to be. So these 3, commoner 1 is the woman.
Do we know any of these children or women? By the way?
And he would run over here. So the one guard, like while all this is happening, you kind of find out that the one guard, this is Sergeant Mark Guth, and he is, and it's just his sister and his sister's children. So do you know them? No, like you don't really know them. But guard number 7 certainly does.
I will move closer to him.
Okay. Yeah, so he'll draw his sword and he says, "Very well." He says, "Allow us to." Where the fuck is he? Each of you can roll initiative. Here.
That'll be 3 for me.
That's a 3 for me as well.
12.
7.
Okay.
12.
Okay. Well, so Nero and or Rack, are either of you going to do anything?
I'm going to just stand by, as much as Draxon said, and then ready. Actually, put my Morningstar and my regular axe up, and pull out my 2 little smaller axes, my throwing axes, and just kind of stand there, not in a way to, like I'm trying to intimidate or do anything. I'm just kind of standing there with them out.
Okay.
Nero's probably gonna see how this plays out.
Okay. It's 12-12. Next down the list is Draxon. Draxon, you're the next act.
I'm going to throw a dagger at him.
Okay.
That's an 18.
That hits.
For 6 points.
Okay. He kind of like smirks. He has a 6 initiative. Nice guy. So he's going to grab his greatsword and he is going to make his way. Sorry, I suppose, like, is there anything else you want to do after throwing your dagger? Sorry, I should have asked.
You know what? Yes, because this guy is clearly stronger. I'm going to fly 10 feet in the air.
Sure. Okay. So you're 10 feet straight up?
10 feet straight up.
Roger that. Okay. In that case, he is going to no longer pull out his greatsword. He's just going to pull out. He's going to drop his greatsword on the ground and pull out a spear, and he's going to throw a spear at you, and he's going to miss. So he's going to grab a second spear, and he is going to throw a spear at you. And he is going to hit. Dealing 8 points of damage. Going down the line, that is now Andernek or Uther. Are either of you going to do anything?
Go ahead, Uther. I'll go after you.
No, I'm probably just, I mean, I'll be ready in case, like, a kobold or something crazy happens, but I'm not going to step in the way of the fight.
Okay. Then back to Rack and sorry, you're right. Yes, Andernek.
She would definitely move and put her in front of the children.
Something. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. All of like Castellan just kind of moves over. The guard moves over. They're just kind of watching. They're just kind of watching this happen. The other guards are. I mean, you see this guard kind of like peek around from behind the thing. The guard on the backside, he's just gonna keep watching. He's gonna keep guard on the backside. The kobolds are just kind of the kobolds all stand there obediently. They kind of like a couple of them have some spears just held to the woman, just kind of like as insurance that nothing, nobody's gonna get excited or anything. Rack and Nero, are you going to do anything?
Rack's just gonna basically just keep standing there and keep watching. Again, with his hatchets in each hand.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just gonna hurl some insults at the dragon guy.
Okay, sure. Okay, and then Draxon.
I'm going to throw another dagger.
Okay.
That's a 24.
That hits.
I will then go another 5 feet up.
Sounds good. So you are 15 feet off the ground. All right. So he is going to throw his last spear at you. And he's going to miss. He then steps forward 5 feet, and he is going to open his mouth, and you're going to see a line of lightning kind of like conjure up within his mouth, and this like lightning breath. Pretty much, it's lightning breath. It's the exact same thing as like the dragon was doing, except this is a much smaller. It's much less impactful than the other one. Like the other one was just like destroying people left, right, and center. So he's going to. So there's a DC 13 Dex save, and you got a 12. So those of you in the back, you see this like line of lightning kind of come out from his mouth and just go up, and just the sound of the crackling and the sound of burning and that sort of stuff hits Draxon, basically starting at his feet and working its way up. You see Draxon's body start to convulse a little bit. This is going to end up being non-lethal damage. So he is choosing to do things without trying to kill. So this will drop you to 0, regardless of what the dice tell you. To take 18 points of damage. And then you see Draxon fall to the ground, kind of twitching and convulsing as his like body tremors from the electricity that's coursing through it. He the dragon the dragon kind of smirks a little bit, and he kind of chuckles. He looks over to the rest of you guys and he says, "Well, thank you for the entertainment. We'll, as promised, we will release the woman. You folks have yourself a wonderful evening, and I'm sure our paths will cross again at some point. If I'm lucky, I suppose." And he kind of lets out a bit of a snort, bends over, picks up his greatsword, and turns around and starts to walk back. As he walks back past the woman, you see the line in the kobolds kind of open up a little bit, and they allow him to pass through. Once he passes through and gets about 5 or 10 feet ahead of them, the kobolds put away their spears and just kind of, you see one of them like take a hand and like gently kind of give as gently as a shove can be, gives like a bit of a shove, just gives kind of a shove to the woman as she stumbles forward about 5 or 10 feet, and then they turn around and walk away.
Guess I'd like to cautiously approach to check on Draxon and the woman.
Okay. So these guys are all just, yeah. Go ahead, Rex.
Just say, can I ask? Look at Rock's gonna look at Escobar and go, "Potion," and like hold out his hand.
Okay. Escobar will hand you, or we'll come over and put a minor, like the small healing potion. It's minor, right? He'll put a minor healing potion in your hand.
And then Rack's gonna slowly start marching over towards where Draxon's at.
Sure, sounds good. Okay, let me just fucking God. Jesus, there we go. All right, off you go. Okay, the woman starts making her way back towards her. Actually, she'd stay on the road. She's gonna start making her way back towards her family. So. Okay. So again, Draxon, like you're just reduced to 0. Like you don't. You're oops. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Gotcha. Okay. So you can kind of see in the distance the half dragon and all the kobolds are now just like you can see them kind of walking off in the distance. They're kind of headed in a southeastern direction.
Rack is going to hand the potion to Uther and kind of prop up Draxon's body.
I guess I will feed it to Draxon.
Okay. 2d4 plus 2.
2, so 4.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 hit points back. But I mean, Draxon kind of, his eyes open up as he. There's a definite smell of singed flesh kicking around.
It was a good fight. Thank you for taking him on.
Draxon just mutters things in Infernal, not looking at anyone.
Okay.
Rack is just going to like give him like a nod as to a good fight, but really doesn't have much to say.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the children and the lady are now kind of huddled together. They're crying and talking with one another. They're, like they're just kind of chatting. Yeah, they're just, they're again, lots of it's kind of a lot of it is just kind of like mashed up, just like as they're like trying to talk through tears and that sort of stuff, and talking about how they've lost, they've lost their home, they've lost a bunch of the city, they've just lost so much.
Annernek's gonna ask her, so is that one of like the generals or somebody heading this whole invasion? Where did they pick you up at? Where did he come from?
She says that they were taken from their home. Like they were gathering their stuff and they were trying to get away from their home. Trying to make their way. They were actually trying to make their way to the keep so that they could join. And try and find a safe space. But they were sectioned off by a group of acolytes and some of the kobolds and that sort of stuff. And then as they were turning to go a different way, they ran into this fellow. The name was never like they never spoke his name, but this guy obviously has some serious power or some serious control over what's going on.
So you said that he's basically like half dragon, like the evolution of a dragonborn, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything notable on him that we seen at all? Anything like that we could recognize? Like, was he wearing any specific type of armor besides the fact having a cultist like standard? Like,
I also wanted to ask if he had any distinct marks that were in resemblance to the ones that we noticed on the dragon flying over.
No. Like the stuff that really stood out is like his skin was covered in blue scales, but like even more so than what a dragonborn would be. Like this looks like a dragonborn is kind of like 50% human, 50% dragon. This is more like 25% human, 75% dragon. This guy definitely looked reptilian. He kind of had the his hands definitely were resembled that of claws. Like it looked like he didn't even really need a weapon per se to fight. Like he could definitely have fought just with the claws that were naturally growing out. The Dragonborn features are sort of muted, especially in the face, because of like, I mean, there's still a muzzle. Like there's still like a muzzle on a Dragonborn, but it wasn't as pronounced as this guy. Like this guy looked very much like dragon first and maybe human somewhere in there.
Armor was definitely very well made.
Armor was very well made. Sword was very well made. Very well cared for too. Like you know, like everything about him kind of screamed senior. Yeah, like someone who had seen a lot of battle, someone who had just kind of taken, you know, like a general almost.
Rack's gonna make his way over to Escobar and just like look at him and go, recognize him?
Escobar says honestly no. He says he says to be honest with you, I haven't, you know, like these attacks have been, this attack has really kind of caught the entire city off guard. There was so much, they were, you know, like, I mean, we almost expect to have bandits or something like that, or someone terrorizing the like the farmers and that, trying to steal their grain or steal some livestock or something like that, but never a full-blown siege of this city. We're not sure what, you know, we're still trying to gather information about what's going on ourselves.
While the two of them are talking, Annernek's gonna try to encourage the lady and the children to move inside.
Okay. Yeah, the guard is going to, like, the brother guard is going to go with them.
I'll kind of make my way back over towards Escobar and the rest of the group.
Okay. At this point, it's probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like it is late. Actually, it's probably later than that. Sorry, it's probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
So does it feel like it's like, I mean, is there a way to tell that it feels like that things have calmed down? I mean, they've marched off, and I mean, they'd be with that many kobolds, they'd be, I wouldn't say loud, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like things have like really calmed down? Is there a way to like tell that, or? Yeah,
I mean, you definitely think that you definitely think that, like, yeah, it's like there's been a lot. Basically, from the point that the dragon kind of started to assault the keep and that you yeah, that it's about the things are really calming down for sure.
Then Rack is gonna kind of look at everybody and be like, we should rest some more. And then with that, he's going to make his way into the building.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. Where did I leave that chick?
Annerneck is definitely going to help get the children settled, and she would probably turn into a cat to distract them to help calm them down and everything.
Okay.
I can probably help by like minor illusioning some stars or lights or something.
Sure. Little prestidigitation.
Oh, look at my cute little kitty face. I love it.
Rack's probably gonna sit back down on the floor and lean up against the wall and begin like sharpening his axe and sharpening, his other two axes, and just kind of until he slowly starts to doze.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna basically go on the sacks of grain or whatever and probably take a seat and fall asleep pretty quickly as well.
Gotcha.
I would stay with the children, laying with them purring until they are asleep. And once they're asleep, I would revert back to normal form and then go back to the sacks where I was in the first place and settle down.
Okay. Traxon, what are you doing in all this?
I am studying the footprints of the dragon creature thing that I fought.
Okay. So what are you studying them for?
In case we come across either the same footprints later or similar footprints, then I can know what they look like.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean you definitely yeah, I mean you can spend a bit of time doing that. I guess how long are you intending to do that?
Probably like an hour and a half.
Okay. Sounds good. And then so about an hour and a half is passing. Rack, Nero, Annerneck, and Uther. I'm assuming you guys are going to sleep.
Oh, yes. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So then after about an hour and a half, you've fairly sufficiently examined these footprints. I mean, you figure you'd be able to recognize them for the most part.
I will then go fly onto the roof of the mill, and I will sleep on the roof.
Sure. Yeah, we'll put you up there. Okay. So, with all of that being done, you guys finally, at long last, get yourselves a long rest. And with that, you all have reached level 3. So as you guys kind of wake up, it's still, I mean, it's really, what would that be? 8 hours. I mean, it's about 11:30 or so in the morning, noonish even. It's you wake up and your muscles are sore, right? Your joints are sore. You're lethargic. You've definitely this is not what you expected when you guys started, when you left. You know, you knew that you were looking for adventure, but you didn't know that you were going to run into quite this sort of an adventure. As you wake up, you can kind of see that some of the guards and like the commoners and that are packing up, and they're basically kind of getting ready to go. Escobar the Red approaches you, approaches like the collective of you, and says, "Good morning. I owe you. I owe you guys an extreme debt of gratitude. I didn't, you know, without you guys being here, I didn't think that we would. I don't think there would be much of. I don't think there would be much of Greenest left, to be perfectly honest with you. If you'd like, I know I can direct you to where the rest of the key of the town has moved to. They're just a little bit southwest of here. In fact, I know that Sergeant Mark Guth and his sister and the children are going to be headed there as well. Possibly you could escort them there. Myself and the rest of the guardsmen are going to stay here with the mill so that we can ensure that, you know, that we can start to clean up the mess and start seeing what we can salvage out of this town.
Do you have any knowledge? You had mentioned Leosin, this monk might be a spy. Do you know possibly where he might be, or if we could find him at all?
It's as well, honestly, your best shot at finding him. I mean, if he's still within Greenest, I would imagine he's at the camp with the governor and the rest of the town, if you will.
Seems like where we should be going then.
We already woke up? I'm sorry. I'm lost.
Yeah,
Confused. I had to step away a moment. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So you guys have woken up. Escobar the Red has kind of come up, and he's said that Sergeant Mark Guth and the children and the woman are going to be traveling to kind of the camp that Greenest has. The governor has moved the rest of the town to. Escobar is going to hang around for a little bit here, and he said he's going to make his way to the camp very shortly, but he wants to hang around and see, you know, he wants to kind of survey the damage. At this point, it's about noon, and it's been silent basically since the half dragon incident. So for about the last 8 hours, there's not been anything pressing, I should say.
Where did you say that the guard and his family was heading again?
They're headed down to the they're headed down to the camp that the rest of Greenest is head to. Basically, like Greenest 2.0. It's to the southwest. To the southwest a little bit.
Thorn, just to let you know, I figured out how to program it. Never mind. I got it.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much. Rax kind of just like staring at you all because he's gonna he's gonna walk ahead of you, but he wants to know what I guess he's looking at what the group's gonna decide.
I guess, should we try to find out more about what's going on to this town here?
That's trying to find that monk, right?
Yeah, it sounds like, if either he'd be there or we could probably find someone who might know more about him.
That seems to be the way to go. I'll follow you whatever you think is best. But yeah, this needs some investigation.
Okay. So you guys decide to head. You guys are going to kind of escort the family there and kind of take them to Greenest 2.
Yeah, Rax kind of he's just waiting on them, and he's probably gonna march in front.
Okay.
Internet would definitely be walking next to the.
Okay. Okay. So as you guys, sorry, yes.
I'd probably be like towards the back of the group, relying on a bow and.
Sure. Sounds good. Okay. So you guys travel for about an hour, a little bit over an hour, down to the southwest. You've been given fairly decent instructions by Escobar the Red there, and it takes you down there. You find yourself into this ramshackle camp where people have kind of set up lean-tos and strung crude tents by using like sticks, pretty badass sticks, but like using whatever they can rummage together, something to like prop up a sheet or something like that. There's not a lot of anything. It's a very crude camp, but it's a camp all the same. You can see Governor Nighthill and some of the guards running around trying to ensure that things are getting done and assigning roles to people, and they're starting to make like a kitchen of sorts, like a crude kitchen with some fires and trying to cook whatever they can. You can see people kind of coming and going out of the camp, bringing back wild game and anything that they happen to have foraged up. As Governor Nighthill sees you all approach, he walks up to you and he says, This is wonderful to see you. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for everything you did last night. Oh my goodness, there's so much to do." He says, "Come quickly. We must chat." as he starts to walk back into the camp, flailing his arms around.
So like since we arrived, like all the guards and the children and the woman, they would all dispersed into their own areas. So it's just our group now.
Correct. Yeah. So like, yeah. Sorry. So like, as you guys come back, like again, the woman and her children meet up with some others that they know from Greenest. Like, oh, thank God you're safe, and this is, you know, I thought, you know, I was starting to think the worst, and all that sort of stuff, and then Sergeant Marka goes with them to. He's like, I'll help get you guys sorted out as well.
Then Rack is going to follow the fellow that greeted us and slowly start, you know, head in that direction.
The governor, your buddy, the governor.
Oh yeah, that guy.
You got him. Okay.
Oh, Rack.
Oh, this dingus again.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, this dingus, indeed. So yeah, as he like, as he walks like with you guys following, you can see him kind of flailing his arms around. He's talking quite quickly and you know, excitedly. He's talking excitedly. He goes, he says, this is wonderful. Thank you. You know, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for protecting our city, or our town. Sorry. He says, we have much work to do. I need to know. I must know what. I'm like these. I need to know where these raiders have come from. What do they want? Who are their leaders? What's motivating these attacks? I must know all of this stuff. You guys will help us. Will help me find this out. Yes, I will pay you handsomely.
Yeah. What kind of pay?
He says, I need
And
to.
when do we get it?
Says I'll pay you. Says I'll pay you. He kind of like he just like he kind of rubs his hand on his brow a little bit. He says I'll pay you. I'll pay you 250 gold apiece. 250 gold, each one of you, every one of you, each and every one. 250 gold. But I need to know. I must know, where is their camp? How many raiders are there? Who are the leaders? What? I need to know their motivations. Are they going to strike again? Where are they going to strike? I must know all of these things.
Half up front.
It says I'll give each of you 100 gold up front and then 150 on your return.
Anna's gonna look over at Rack.
Rack is, as he's not really interested in money, so he's just gonna kind of look back at her and everybody and just kind of just let out a, you know, just a regular bull noise and not care. He's showing very disinterest for gold. He'll take it, but he's showing no interest in.
That's fair. She's gonna quietly look at the rest of them. Does that sound good to you guys? Do you should yeah? Yeah, no, yeah.
My afternoon's free, sure. You seem awfully chipper for a guy that just lost his town, though. What seems odd?
I mean, he's not necessarily chipper per se. He's more like running around, sort of flummoxed, kind of like
Animated talker.
Yeah, he's definitely an animated talker. He's like he's definitely he definitely like he kind of has this like just this tone of like feeling not betrayed, that's not the right word, but like feeling angry and like he wants to get down to the bottom of what's going on. Like he wants to know what the deal is here.
So we are looking for this monk, right? That's the thing that we're here for, gals.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there was mention of a Leosin who might have information, but the gold sounds interesting too.
Pretty good, the gold, yeah.
Good gold. Good, lovely gold.
Old Nero's gotta eat, you know?
Love it.
And I guess, 100 would be alright to start out. Everyone needs a little walking around money.
Okay.
Good to me.
Rack just nods his head.
Okay. He says, well, is there, again, he's like flailing his arms around a little bit. He's like, is there anything you're going to need to prepare yourself for this trip? I mean, we don't have much, as we're obviously trying to get a camp set up ourselves. But I mean, if you need a place to rest, or if you need some items or something like that, some weapons or anything to prepare yourself, he says, I'm sure we can spare the odd something.
So he said weapons, and that kind of piqued Rack's interest. And Rack goes, "Show me weapon. All weapons."
Basically, if there's like a mundane weapon or something that you're looking for, you're going to be able to kind of get it.
Yeah, I mean, so you say mundane as in not better than what I got, or mundane as in
Mundane is in non-magical. Like if you're looking for like a great sword or like a great axe or a hand axe or something like that, like anything that's just kind of mundane, like every day. Well, not every day, but like mundane, like non-magical. That's the point I'm trying to get across here. Anything that's non-magical.
then Rack kind of like, looks at him and goes, "Point me in direction," and then just waits for him.
He says, well, so that he kind of like, again, he's like flailing his arms and talking in a very animated manner. He's very fast talking. He goes, well, he says, I've had some of the scouts and some of the guards say that they saw, like as we were escaping from the keep, and that he says they saw a reasonable mass of them moving to the what would be kind of like the east, but they were moving southeast of Greenest, so it'd almost be straight east from here. Although he says, if you traveled back to Greenest, I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't have much problem picking up their tracks or something to that extent.
Oh, Go ahead. I was asking about weapons. I was saying, point me in the direction of the weapons.
Sorry.
But I'll take that too. Thank you.
Okay, no, you're welcome. Yeah, he said, like, yeah, basically just let me know if you want something, they'll just bring it to you. Like he has like a couple servants or squires or whatever. Somebody who will totally facilitate this.
I was gonna say, is there like an upgraded battle axe? I'm just curious.
Not in this particular situation.
All right, well then never mind.
Anonek's gonna forego who she thinks is an idiot and go speak to one of the servants herself and ask them if there's any type of provisions, like anybody that has extra healing potions she could buy or anything.
Sure. Okay. yeah, you can get. Oh man, how many? How many do they have to spare? Let me find out. They have 3. Wow, very lucky. Let me just quickly look up. Okay, so there's 3 of them available. Okay, yeah, there's 3 of them available, and the way, again, these would kind of come from these would kind of come from like an apothecary kind of thing. So this would be like, these would be some of the townsfolk. This is just kind of like the apothecary has grabbed whatever they could on their way out, and they're like, yeah, I managed to salvage 3 of these healing potions, as like these. He kind of like holds out these vials of red liquid as though he's holding out, like he's holding out his, basically he's holding out his life savings in front of him, and he's like, he says, I can, he says, I have these, I would love to try and give you a better. I would love to try and give you a better price on them, but I mean, I have to ask for the full value of 50 gold per minor healing potion.
Has the governor already given us our money?
Each one of you have 100 gold. I will allow you to add those to your inventories, guys. 100 gold each.
We'll immediately give that 100 gold to that dude for 2 potions.
Sure. Okay.
Rack's
Hey,
gonna walk
Uther.
over.
Sorry.
Yeah, Uther, not being as smart as Enernek, will probably ask the governor about healing potions.
he directs you towards the. He says, he just kind of like says something extent of like, well, I don't happen to have any on me.
Ooh, big mistake.
Yeah.
And then
Rack looks over and sees that Andernek has them, and just kind of like walks over with this like 100 gold in his hand, and just like drops it in her hand, because he sees that she's trying to get potions, and just drops her like the 100 gold and like walks away. So she has my 100.
Okay.
She would get all 3 then.
Okay. Let me.
Since he couldn't get his weapons, Rack's he's disinterested in money. He's just very disappointed on his face. Just walks away.
He just looks disheveled.
He drops the gold in her hand. She's gonna look up at him and say, "Thanks, big."
And he's just gonna nod and walk away.
So I have added 3 potions of healing to your inventory. And
thank you.
I will add it to your actions. Can I do it this way? No. Rude. I will add it. I'll add it to your stuff. We'll figure it out later. The fact of the matter is, you have 3. You have 3 minor or standard, I guess, healing potions, as there's only 3 sizes in 5th edition.
After she acquires the potion, she's gonna walk over to Uther, give him 1, and him the remaining 50 gold.
Thank you. Make sure we spend it wisely. Was there anything else you needed?
I'm good for now.
So Rack walks back over to the mayor and looks over and goes, "Where's
Where's what? Sorry, so you like you
monk.
cut off. Oh, where's the monk?
Yeah.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. It's just your mic cut off is all. He goes, well, she said, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. We haven't seen him. He hasn't made his way to this camp. Where is he? Let's add that to the question. I have so many questions. I need you to answer these questions. I demand answers. As he like slams his hand down a little bit.
Rack just kind of rolls his eyes and just looks over at everybody, including, or just everybody in general, and just is like, just shakes his head and walks away, goes stand by everybody.
Can you describe him for us? Maybe we can go find him.
As you kind of like as you ask this this kind of younger man approaches, he kind of like he's limping quite heavily. He's limping heavily on a fairly crudely bandaged left leg. He says, I hear that you're asking you're asking about my mentor. He says honestly, I would love to come with you. But if I were to come with you to help save him, I'd probably do nothing more than slow you down. In the midst of all this tragedy, there's no reason that you would have heard about what happened to him, but Leosin Erlenthar is his name. It's important that you know him. He's a monk from Burdusk, as am I. Berdusk, for those of you keeping track. Last night during the siege, we were fighting a particularly savage battle against a bunch of the raiders. A few others and I had fought our way to the keep, although barely. Leosin was at the back of our group. He didn't end up making it to the keep. We've after the group kind of made their way through the tunnel there and out to this camp, a couple of us made our way back into Greenest to try and look for him. We couldn't find him. All we could find was his broken staff and his choker, which is a choker that he always would have worn. He says Leosin has been investigating these raiders for months now. I fear that he might have tried to infiltrate the group when they retreated, or worse, he was captured and carried away as a prisoner. No one understands these bandits better than he does, and his knowledge will be invaluable against them. He says if you go and find their camp, please look for a sign that Leosin is possibly there. One of my brothers has already departed for Burdusk to try and gather some other monks and bring back some help. But it will be many days before the help arrives. Anything you can do before then would be a godsend.
Well, shit, that's great news. I was worried I was going to have to talk to this dipshit all day. Oh, I'm glad you gave me all that. So where is this camp? I think this is a great lead.
He says so his name is Nassim. Nassim tells you, he says to the best of his knowledge is like the quote unquote dipshit, as you call him, as that guy references it. It seems that they were traveling to the southeast a little bit, so he doesn't know exactly where the camp is, but he kind of like echoes what the governor has said, and he says, if you kind of make your way even a little bit back towards Greenest and that, you should be able to kind of pick up some sort of footprints or tracks or something like that, heading out to the southeast, some direction and some distance. It is unknown.
Well, I think that's probably as good of a lead as we're gonna get. If we manage to find your mentor, I will definitely bring him back safe. Or at least let you know what's going. We'll bring him back. Is what I'm saying. It'll be fine. I'm sure he's fine.
It's probably fine.
He's fine.
Not foreshadowing at all.
You said
Well-
he's been following them for a while. So this has been like they've been planning this for a while, you think, or
It says, well, it's again, we came sorry, we came from Burdusk because we'd heard some strange things about something about dragons and something about a cult that was worshiping dragons. We don't have a whole ton of information on that, but we came to try and see what was going on. And Leosin was taking a very deeply rooted interest in it, as he was worried about what these guys were up to. Again, he had far more information than I do. I'm just merely learning the ways of the monk from him. So I never bothered to really try and pry, as he was a very closed off man. It was all meditation and teachings, right? So whenever I wasn't being taught, Leosin was spending a lot of time meditating, and I didn't want, usually if I wasn't spending time training, I was trying to soothe my wounds from said training.
Are there any other provisions any of the rest of you needed to get before we followed this trail?
I would like to refill on arrows because I am almost out.
Sure. Yeah, you can definitely do that. How many are you looking to pick up?
$15.
You could easily do like 20 for a gold.
Okay, then I will have 25.
Sounds great.
Rack's got no provisions that he needs.
I think I'm fine too.
yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay.
One thing before we set off on this, I don't know that we've actually introduced ourselves to each other to be.
Ah, yes. Yes. The group has just kind of the group has just kind of been thrown into the fire.
Kind of just from one bad situation to the next. Really. Nero's gonna turn around and be like, "Well, since we're looking like we're a good old adventuring group, I'm Nero Tinsley. Pleasure to make your."
Oh, so your name's not actually Old Man.
No, my name is not actually Old Man, but if that makes it easier on you, I don't.
Nero Tinsley is sort of a mouthful. Uther Horns River is my.
Oh, you're the one to talk, huh? Well, pleased to meet you, Uther. Uther. Uther.
Uther.
Got it. Uther. Got it.
I can just imagine again, like Nero like adjusting his hearing horn a little bit. What? Huh? Uther.
Hey?
Hmm.
Well, I'm just Anarnek. Last names aren't important in my.
Rack's gonna lean over to him and all of them and just go, Rack, Rasto, and then just stand back up.
Okay, cool. Not entirely sure if that was a name or you're just grunting, but Rack got it.
It's in Minotaur. And then he just like turns his back.
Sure, I get that.
Anarnek chuckles.
Uther is probably a little afraid.
What about the
Okay.
guy that died like 3 times? Is he got a name, or does anyone catch that?
Well, I had a name, but it was taken from me. So currently I don't have one.
Oh, okay. Sure. Don't explain that anymore. Is there something we can call you in the meantime?
I call him Wings.
Very eloquent of you.
I think it's a pretty accurate description. Unless you would be preferred to be called otherwise.
I suppose that will do for now.
Um, I'm guessing that there's somewhere for us to like basically be sitting and eating while we're doing all this quote unquote introductory.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you guys would like again. This is all very. It's all very. Like I said, it's still you're still everything is still very disjointed right now. Like I said, they're trying to they're trying to kind of pull themselves together. They're trying to like correct. They're trying to like make whatever they can into this kind of new home that they're working on. It doesn't help that the governor is kind of like running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Well, I've got everything I need, so if we are whenever we're ready to go, just let me know. I'll, read in my book.
What's in the book?
Oh, some pretty weird shit, if I'm honest.
Are you reading smut?
No.
Besides a little bit of food, Rack's probably over like sharpening his axe and just making sure his weapons are in good repair and just waiting on everyone to say, let's get up and go.
Okay.
Do they have an herbalist in town?
I mean, they have a yeah, they don't have a ton of herbs, but I mean he has there's an herbalist kicking around.
Cool. I'd like to get some ingredients for some things.
Okay. What are you looking to, like, what sort of herbs are you looking to get?
That's a good question. It doesn't say,
Okay.
so I don't know.
Okay.
Start fresh out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm looking at like okay, yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay, so basically you're kind of looking at okay. Okay. So yeah, very cool. Okay, okay. So yeah, so it's kind of looking, you're looking at, so I'm just looking at quickly at some general thoughts here on herbs. Basically, depending on what you're looking for, you're looking at, it's either kind of okay, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, basically what depending on what you're looking for, you're either going for some kind of like really basic, really common stuff, which would be mostly what this person had. Like they would just kind of grab whatever they have. And then they would have like kind of some masterwork stuff, and then they'd have some like really superior stuff. So looking at let me look into that one, because I will get back to you on what sort of herbs. Like you need, oof, man, here's another thing that I'm not fully versed in.
There's a place to obviously get like something to drink, right? Like probably some like beer or meat or.
Yeah, they would have some very crude. They would have some like sort of a very crude tavern or something. This would be like, they'd have like a barrel of something, maybe that a group of them would probably have.
So Rack's gonna go over and get him some, and then he's also gonna ask them to see if they have a glass of milk. He's just gonna like look at them and just go, milk.
Okay. They just kind of like look at you. So yeah, they just kind of like look at you. They don't really know what to say. They're like, well, we have mead.
Fine, mead. And then I guess he'll get some and then go back to where they are, and then take a seat and start drinking and continue sharpening his axe.
Okay.
Also, probably disappointed that they didn't have any milk.
Okay, sure.
So which way do you think we should head? She's asking the group in a whole. As a whole. Word.
Well, I mean, both the dipshit governor and the monk pointed us towards the southeast. I mean, if we just follow these like tracks, we'll probably find something, right?
I'm glad you were listening. I totally tuned him out.
I wouldn't lie. I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't tuning that dipshit out a couple times, but I mean, the monk, he seemed to know what was going on.
Well, are the rest of you ready to head out, or should we wait?
Rack starts stops sharpening his axe, finishes his mead, and stands up and, like, I guess walks outside their little crude tavern and just waits, ready to.
I guess he's ready.
He seems like he's always ready.
Yeah, I guess let's head on out and see what more we can find.
Okay. So I guess yeah. Which like what are you guys gonna do? Are you guys heading back towards Greenest and then looking for tracks? Are you just going straight east and trying to figure out grab some tracks on your way? Like what is your kind of your plan?
I think the heading back to Greenest and maybe do we have a good track? I am pretty poor. I get a +3 at nature. I don't know what that helps.
And I mean, we're all level 3, right? We're only going to be as good as we can be tracking.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like the plan is to head back to Greenest and try to see if we can see some tracks that we can follow on the way back. It's probably as good as it.
Okay.
So I guess is tracking in nature then? I mean, this is just a question purely out of character for me.
I mean, there is like a certain there is like some certain stuff, especially if you're trained in a lot of it is a lot of it is rooted in survival. Like there's an argument that can be said about nature. There's an article that can be said about there's an argument that can be said about survival. To have tracking stuff in it. There's also something to be said about perception to an extent. So honestly, I would accept. I would accept like varying degrees of that. It also comes down to whether you're trained or your proficiency, like whether you have proficiency in survival or not. Would be obviously someone who's proficient in survivalism or for the fifth edition skills survival would have a much easier time because they'd already kind of know about that, right? Like they'd be like, okay, this is how we track, this is how we do a lot of things that are just survival oriented.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was considered like an investigation or nature or survival. So okay, that clears it up. Thank you.
Yeah, it clears it up and then makes it completely confusing all at the same time. It's really there's a lot of arguments that can be made about to multiple sides.
Basically, DM's choice.
Yeah, and for my particular taste, it really comes down to what the situation is, like there's certain times where it's like, yeah, it's gonna be very survival oriented because of just the way the situation presents itself. Other times, like in this, to be honest with you, like you guys are kind of in like this grasslands fields kind of thing, right? It's not going to be, you're not doing like really hardcore tracking because it's not that it really makes any sense to you guys outside of Canada, but it's like it'd be like trying to track someone in Saskatchewan for all the Canadians that are among us, right? Like, there's a joke in Canada about people from Saskatchewan that they can they can watch their dog run away for 3 days because the land is that flat,
Whereas Kentucky, there like it doesn't matter. Just pick a direction. There's hills. I mean,
yeah.
In that case, Rack wants to intimidate the dirt to see if he can find the tracks. By intimidating.
Yes.
Well, okay. So if we're out there looking for tracks, so we can perform a survival check to see if I guess we find tracks then.
I mean, I'd let you do nature. I'd let you do survival. I'd even let you do perception. It's really your choice.
I'm gonna go with survival
Sure.
with an 18.
Okay. Is anybody else going to try doing some tracking, or is it just kind of rack that's
11.
okay? Jesus. Okay.
I'm going to look specifically for see if I see any of the footprints of that dragon abomination thing.
Okay.
That's a 24.
Very interesting. Okay.
Gonna sit and watch all of them walking in circles, looking at the ground.
Okay. That's totally fair. Okay, so Uther and Draxon and Rack, everybody but Nero. Nero's hard of sight, anyways. So the three of you kind of see a bunch of footprints kind of headed off in a southern southeasternly kind of manner. You notice that like some of the footprints are because you can see a few sets of prints, right? So the prints seem to come from there seems to be like a set of prints or a bunch of prints that show from the southeast traveling towards the city, and then you see a bunch of tracks also coming from the town, city, town, whatever, coming from Greenest and heading back towards the southeast. On the way back, a lot of these prints are a lot they look a lot deeper, like they look a lot more sunk in on the way back out. But they definitely are leading towards the southeast. And then as for you looking for specifically for that particular dragon, half dragons, the half dragons footprints, I mean you notice them within there. There's a few others that look relatively similar, but I think you spent enough time really studying the black dragon, or sorry, not the black dragon, the half dragon, studying the half dragon's footprints, that you can kind of you can pick them out.
Amtech is thoroughly enjoying watching other people doing the tracking for once.
Rack's gonna start following the tracks and heading towards that direction.
Find something, Rack.
Not a dog. And then he just continues on like walking.
Well, that narrows it down.
It kinda looks like they were headed this way. That's where Rack is headed, so we follow him.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
agree? Is that what you see too, Nero?
Yeah. I mean, I totally saw the tracks too. With that, yes, we should definitely follow the Minotaur.
Quick question out of character. Rack, when you were doing the search, did you do it as nature or survival?
I did it as survival.
So, wisdom? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anarnek is going to skip forward, like pick up the speed a little bit to catch up with Rack. and walk up to him, tapping him on the arm, and say, "So you basically you're on the trail of something here, yeah?"
While Rax kind of like, he kind of like he tries his best to keep both eyes on the ground, but he kind of just like looks over and he's like thinking for a second to himself. He'll say, maybe.
As she is touching him on the arm, she's actually going to give him enhanced ability, so he'll have advantage on wisdom check.
Okay, sure.
How do I drag it on him in the list?
You should. Great, good.
There you go.
And you make Draxon not unconscious anymore as well. Right,
He was like half in, half out,
Yeah. the body was there, the mind was somewhere else. That's pretty much the story of my life.
He'd probably feel like almost like electrical shock when she touches his arm, like when you rub your feet on carpet, like that type of feeling.
Little static shock action. Okay.
And I was gonna say, I guess we're gonna follow these footprints and see what we can find at the end of them. Go to the end of the rainbow.
Cool. Okay, so you kind of head southeast for approximately 12 miles, and as you're moving through this, you're starting to notice that the terrain is slowly starting to change from these kind of rolling hills to something that's a little more rugged. You're starting to see like a much more hill, like a lot more hills. There's some rocky plateaus. Like the topography of the land is getting a lot more prominent here. Like there's a lot more vertical elevation change. You kind of find yourself you find yourself going from very lazy rolling hills to something that is a lot more a lot steeper. You almost find yourself not really like in a mountain pass or something, but it's starting to head more that way. You know what I mean? So it's like some of these plateaus, as you make your way further and further out of the into the gullies kind of thing, you're seeing that the plateaus up on either side of you are rising anywhere from about 50 to 100 feet above like the ground that you're walking on. Some of them they're kind of things are definitely starting to change. You're starting to leave the comfy rolling hills of Greenest. Go ahead, each and every one of you, and make me a perception check.
11.
Oof.
13.
24.
14.
Okay. And Anernak. Possibly. Oh, there she is.
7.
Perfect. Okay. So, actually, Rack, you can have advantage on it, and I'll explain to you why in just a second. Oh, it already has advantage on it. No, you already had advantage on it. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I take that back. I take that back. Okay, I was going to give you advantage because of your keen snout, but never mind. Draxon, you notice, you're the only one who notices this. You notice off in the distance, you see you see some smoke coming, probably about a mile up further into this like gully that you're kind of in. You see like smoke from a campfire, and you can sort of smell you smell like the smell of like roasting meat, right? Like a roasting hen or something.
I will tell the rest of the group about it.
Okay.
You approach quietly.
Rack looks at Anarnek and goes, "You want me stealth?" Like as if it's like a sarcastic remark.
Maybe I stealth, you hang back in case.
He blows a little air out of his nose and nods and just kind of stands back.
Okay.
You want me to come with you?
Can you be super quiet?
She immediately transforms into a cat.
I'll take that as a yes.
I'll probably sit this one out. I'll hang back with the big guy.
Yeah, I will probably do the same. I don't feel very stealthy.
That's sciatica, right?
Suit yourselves.
Okay. Okay. So then, yeah, let me know how you guys are going to proceed with this.
I would walk alongside him quietly.
Okay. So yes.
I was gonna say, like, is there a way that we can, follow this smell, or I guess, what, like you said, was it smoke or was it just
It's a well, I mean, like, so Draxon caught the campfire smoke, and he also can kind of gets like a faint whiff of something roasting on a campfire.
I was gonna say all of us probably do approach, but like the three of us probably hang back, and Draxon and Anarnek. I mean, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm just saying that that's probably what we're gonna do. We get as close as we can without, and then let those two kind of go even closer.
Okay. Okay. So you guys make your way up. You kind of as you approach. So first of all, go ahead, both of you make stealth checks.
That's a 10.
Okay.
That's a 13.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so you guys approach kind of quietly. They as you kind of come around a curve in this kind of in this pass, you see you kind of come around the corner and you notice that there's this low spot between the surrounding hills. A bunch of boulders have kind of rolled into like a loose jumble here and there. It just looks. This just looks like a kind of a natural valley or a natural low spot amongst a lot of what's around you. The hills again have shed a lot of rock and a lot of rubble. There's kind of piles of it here and there. There's also like some longer grass and the odd like very mountainous shrubbery, a shrubbery, kind of growing all around this area as well. You find it relatively easy to sneak up a little bit. You see that here there as you approach, you notice that there are 4 human cultists. So these are the ones that are kind of wearing the really crummy robes, like the real ripped and torn robes, and 8 kobolds that are all kind of sitting around this campfire. And you see on top of the campfire a couple skewers with some hens roasting away. You notice that the cultists are sitting in one group very close together, and the kobolds are sitting on the opposite side of the fire, also kind of grouped together. You can see them looking back and forth from one group to another as they both kind of chatter. The cultists chattering in common and the kobolds chattering in draconic. The cultists are kind of like every now and then they're like barking orders at the kobolds. You hear the odd cultist say, it says something about I can't believe we're this far behind. It's your fault that we're this far behind the group, as he like points towards a bunch of the as he points towards some of the kobolds. The kobolds kind of like snarl and squeak back a little bit, and you see them say something to each other in draconic.
And only Draxon and Internet can see this and hear this, correct?
Correct.
All right.
I would say that Draxon and Andernek are probably within 75 yards ish, within about 150 feet, kind of thing. Maybe even a little bit closer.
Am I close enough to be able to speak with my party?
Yes.
I would definitely relay the head count.
So you're talking about speaking back to you'd be within range, to speak to
I was gonna say Nero can speak to minds, can he? Is that
Yes.
That's what I'm referring to. Am I close? Yeah. I would definitely relay to Nero the head count in the campsite so he could tell the rest of the group.
Okay. So that is it's only within 30 feet. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I already said yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. Yes, you can definitely you can chat with Nero. So Nero, you hear back that there are 4 cultists and 8 kobolds.
Am I able to? Are they gonna go? Or are you gonna go rough them up, or?
We're just standing here. They're barking orders at each other, but that's how many.
All right. So I'll turn to Rack and be like, "It sounds like there's 4 cultists and 8 kobolds, and they sound like they're having a bit of a bitch session."
Okay.
Sorry, my mind just like straight up went blank.
That's fine.
I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do either. I think they're maybe waiting for us. As maybe they-
Internet gonna slowly, quietly walk in circles around his feet, waiting to find out what he wants to do. Not old man Nero.
Yeah, he just like walked back to Nero and just started
No.
walking around his feet. Oh, that's awesome.
She can't communicate with him, so she's basically.
Yeah, I got you.
Ask her. Ask them if there is any leaders. Pope Sash.
good point. Yeah, are there? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna connect back. Pope,
Ring,
Pope,
ring.
Pope Sash.
Does the speaking stone rings?
Any Pope? Yeah, awakened mind calling. Any Pope Sashes?
Negative.
Okay, I don't need to do another perception roll.
No. These guys are very much in plain sight.
I
Like you'd be able to see it all.
I just shake my head. No,
Nope.
no Pope Sashes.
We leave one alive. Kill the rest.
Okay, I'll let Anna know. I'll dial Anna back up here. We're it seems like we're going to be on our way here. Just hold tight.
Internet will immediately stop circling around his feet and lower down to the ground, ears back as if she was going to pounce.
I was gonna say, like, Rack's already headed in that direction. I'm sure Nero already pointed out, and he's gonna kind of probably like head in that direction and try to walk into the clearing and see if get as close as he can before they notice him. I guess. If you want, I can perform a stealth check, but I don't think that's gonna help.
I mean, go ahead, just for the sake of. Let's just see. I mean, these guys are pretty wrapped up in what they're doing.
17.
It's pretty fucking good.
7.
That's less good than 17.
9.
Okay, good.
But
Good.
do you see Rax roll? He rolled 20 as well. Dropped
Yep.
20.
Yep. Yeah, because of his armor, he drops.
Chainmail's
Disadvantage.
out.
No, but could you picture a big old minotaur running through with a nat 20 freaking stealth check?
Yeah,
It was
I
jumping
just
from trees to trees. It was secretly,
I can totally just picture it. The arms kind of bent up a little bit, like the makeshift T-Rex arms, and he's just like tiptoeing his way along, like dooty 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 doo. Dooty 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 doo. This big fucking bull. Okay. So yeah, you guys make your way up there.
should have been a rogue.
You want to swap?
No, I'm good. I'm just.
Okay. Well, yeah. So what we're gonna do is, as you guys, you guys are now all kind of in the bushes and wrapped up, kind of like surrounding these guys a little bit as they go. And yeah, so you guys are now all grouped up together. They have not shown anything of like them seeing you. So as far as you're concerned, you guys are sufficiently sneaking up on them.
Rack wants to run out and I guess ambush them.
Okay.
Could I possibly stop him before he does that?
I mean, you can put your hand out, or like motion him to stop. Whether he chooses to stop or not is his own volition.
Yeah, I would try and get his attention before he just charges in there.
So before Rack fully stands up, he stops and turns his head and just kind of looks at Drax and just like stop.
Okay.
Draxon is going to. How far away did you say we were?
I mean, I'd say you're like within 75 yards, probably even closer. It's 150 feet, probably even closer than that, maybe like 100 feet.
That's not close enough for a short bow. Never mind. Charge on in there.
Rack's gonna just let out like just a little quick snort and just turn and begin charging. Probably try to avoid as many trees or whatever's in the way and just start charging right into the clearing where.
Okay. Well, then as you guys like come rampaging out of the bushes towards these guys, that's where we'll end it for today. And we will pick this up next week with the start of some combat with with you guys rampaging out towards these cultists and these and these kobolds.
Level 3. Level 3.
Level 3. Level